Hello everyone, in this video I will talk about the distance formula and its applications. First let's talk about what it means. So the distance formula is used to measure the length of a side if the coordinates of endpoints are known. So most of the time if we need to prove that two triangles or two figures are congruent by using side postulate, that means we need to show that the side lengths are the same. In that case we will start using the distance formula. So here we have an example, an easy one. It says find the distance between point A and point B. So we are going to start by labeling the points. So the coordinates of A can be labeled x1 and y1. The coordinates of point B can be labeled x2 and y2. So you could switch them around, by the way. You could say that A was x2, y2, B was x1, y1. That would be okay as well. So let's say we are looking for the distance. I'm just going to plug in what I know into the formula. Right now, the original formula has a lowercase d that stands for distance. Right now, the distance that I'm looking for is from A to point B. So that's why I'm going to start with this. So this represents the distance from A to B. It's equal to the square root of, subtract the x values. We have the x values are 3 and 2. Subtract them. 3 minus 2 squared plus, and subtract the y values, which is 0 and 6. We labeled 6 by y2, so I'm going to do 6 minus 0 squared. Actually, we could do 0 minus 6 squared too. It wouldn't matter. Since we were going to square it anyway, it's going to become a positive number. So let's continue. Here, what we have is 3 minus 2, which is equal to positive 1. And then we are going to square that number. In the second part of it, we have 6 minus 0, which is equal to 6 squared. So, if we simplify it, we have 1 plus 6 squared is 36. We add these two numbers, we have square root of 37, radical 37. Now, this part of the video is going to have another method that can be used instead of the whole formula. For that, we will need a coordinate plane. So, I have the coordinate plane right here. I'm going to plot the points. That's the first step. The easier method starts with plotting the point. Point A tells us to go right 2 units and up 0. So, that's point A. Point B, we are going to go 3 units to the right and up 6. So point B is right here. Now the question is about the distance from A to B. So we can imagine that there is a segment that connects these 2 points like that. So right now I don't know how I can find that length, but if I can create a right triangle like this one, for example, there's going to be 2 ways to create a right triangle, either this one here, or you could do it this way too. Go 1 unit to the left and down 6 units. So both of them can be used. Right now, I know that this side, the base of this triangle is 1 unit. So I'm going to put 1 down here. That's its length. And then the side on the right is 6 units. So I'm going to put 6 right by that. Now, the distance can be found by doing this. Square root of, square the numbers that you have for the legs. 1 squared plus 6 squared. Aren't they the same thing? 1 squared plus 6 squared was there. And then right here, we have the same numbers. So their values are going to be the same anyway. If we square 1, we get 1. If we square 6, we get 36. Add them together, we get radical 37. So this method actually, when I have a coordinate plane, is easier for me. That's what I would prefer. Whichever is easier for you, just use that one to figure out the distance from one point to another. So let's have another example. Here we go. Let me just get rid of this. Okay. This time, the coordinates have negative numbers. So point A has -2, point B has -4. First, let's label the points. this one, you can say that's x1 and y1. Here we go x2 and y2. So right now we are going to find the distance from A to B. That's why I have those two letters here. The distance between these 2 points is equal to subtract the x values. -4 minus -2. And then square the whole thing, but please do not forget about the parentheses. Plus subtract y values, which are 5 and 1, and then square it. Now time to simplify. -4 minus -2 is -2. Keep the parentheses around the number and then square it. Plus 5 minus 1 is 4. We square that one. So if we square -2, we get a positive number, because let's just talk about that a little bit. Square of -2 means timing it by itself. When we time two negative numbers, it becomes positive. That's why it's positive. Plus 4 squared is 16. Add the numbers together, we get radical 20. Right now, let's use the second method that we just learned to figure this one out. First step was plot the points. Point A tells us to go left 2 units and up 1. So there we go. Point B tells us to go left 4 units and up 5. There we go. Now connect these 2 points. Now what I need is a right triangle. Let me draw this one up here, and that one down here. Right now I have a right triangle. So the sides of this triangle are 2 units. That side, the one at the top, the one on the right side is 4 units. Now look at the numbers, 2 and 4. We are going to square those numbers. So the distance from A to B can be found by squaring 2 and 4 and adding them together. 2 squared is 4, 4 squared is 16. Add them together, radical 20. Whichever method is easier, just choose that one and go with that. Here's another example. So at this time, please pause the video and take your time to work on the question. Try both of the methods and then see if you can get the same answer to each. So let's continue. I believe you figured it out. I hope you got the right answers for both of them. So the first method, we do the distance formula, square root of, subtract the x values. So these are the x values, subtract them. You can start with the first one or second one. So I'm going to do 6 minus 3 this time. Square that plus subtract the y values, y1 and y2. So you can start with any of them. I'm going to go with 0 minus -3 because I don't want to have a negative number. So let's calculate them, simplify it. So this is 3 squared, which is positive 9. And if we simplify this, it becomes 0 plus 3, which is positive 3. And then if we square that number, we get another 9. Add them together, radical 18. That's the answer. So if we use the other method on the coordinate plane by plotting the points, let's see what's going to happen. A is right 6 down 3, right here, point A. Point B is right here. Now, if we connect these 2 points and then complete it to a right triangle, we can figure it out. So the one of the legs is 3 units, the other one is the same actually. So we have both 3 and 3. So the distance from A to B, or the measure of the side AB, would be equal to 3 squared plus 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, the other one is 9 too. Add the numbers together, so that's what we have. So we have the same answers for both. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you next time.